this is Rosa Kelly. So I'm here with part 2 of my folio / mini album tutorial. As you know, on part 1 we worked on this first folio, which we're going to continue working right now, as well as the base to our album, which is quite large. It's 10 by 8 with a 2.5-inch spine. Okay, so we are working with the Azulejos paper collection by Stamperia, and all the supply list will be on the description box below, as well as the link to JS Hobbies and Crafts, where you can get everything you need. So today we are going to continue working on this first folio. Like I said, I want to start building on top of the centerpiece here. So as you recall, last time we worked on the inside here, and we made this it's a little bit hard to show, it's so large. And we made this little feature here, which I haven't covered with paper yet, but I will later. So let's just get working. Let's close this up and work here. The rest of the inside is just gonna be plain, so I'm not gonna show you that. I'll probably just cover it with my craft color cardstock and some of my scrap pieces of design paper like I did here. But on this page I want to make a different type of feature, so I'm going to be working with some more white cardstock. And so let's go ahead and cut this. I'm gonna use 2 pieces, and I'm going to cut these at 9 by 8. And you have to excuse my voice. I woke up today a little bit sick. I have the worst sore throat, so I'm going to probably be taking a lot of breaks in between this tutorial. But okay, so now we're gonna grab our scoreboard, and let me just move these out of the way for now. And oh, look, little picture of my cat. How cute is he? He was being adorable, so I printed it out so I can put it in my journal. Okay, so back to this. I'm going to place this on the scoreboard along 8 inches, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and I will do the same for both. And then I'm gonna fold and add my score tape. I have the 2 pieces here, and before I add these to my album, I'm going to do something different. I got these new dies from Heartfelt Creations, and I used this before on a different project, so I kind of want to just show you how to use these pockets. So these are called Regal pocket accents. You can also find these at JS Hobbies and Crafts, but I'm going to incorporate it into this folio, and this is definitely optional, and I will show you how you could do it without a die as well. But here I'm going to cut my design paper at 7 1/4 by 8 3/4. Okay, so this piece right here, and that is gonna go, and I'm just gonna do one of the sides, the side that is gonna go on top. So for me, I'm gonna choose the one on the with this score tape on the left. And before we add these into the cardstock, I'm going to go ahead and use this little border die and cut it on white cardstock. Okay, so I have the piece, and now I'm just going to add it into the cardstock where I want my pocket to be. So I think I kind of want it just up here, and I'm just gonna glue this down. And I love these little dies because they embellish your album and they don't create any bulk. So especially for these type of projects where it's just like a folio, and you know, you don't have the gusset in between the pages, they're just so pretty. Okay, so I have this one little thing that I need to pop out. Okay, so now I'm just gonna place this where I want my pocket to be, which is kind of right here. And then you can use the second piece and you can put it right there and run it through your machine. But I have a small carol bag, so it won't fit all of this. So another thing that you can do is just grab your X-Acto knife and just kind of cut here where you want this opening to be, okay? Or even easier to do will be just to grab, let me grab this here, which is what I did when I did my other folio. I'm just gonna cut a little opening in between the pocket. I'm just gonna cut this one more time, just gonna give it a little separation and then just cut it here. Now that I cut the sides, and just take this out and take these out. Oops. Just like that. Oops. Went everywhere. So then you're creating this little opening, and you will see it here on top of the paper on the white cardstock. You see that little slit? Okay, and then to add this down and make sure we don't close our pocket, I'm just gonna add my glue in all the border. Okay, just like that. Make sure we leave this whole area open, and then maybe I can add a little bit more glue on this side. Okay, just like that. And if you don't have the die, you can still do this cut here and just create your pocket on top of your page. You know, this just makes it so pretty. I love it. Alrighty, so now that we have that done, I'm going to bring back my folio. Okay, let's move that to the side, and I'm gonna open it, and I'm going to start with this one on the left, the one that we didn't do anything to. And this one, again, I'm just gonna cover with the craft color cardstock, and I'm gonna wait to see how much scrap pieces I have before doing that. So I'm just gonna center these up and down because it is just a bit smaller than the page here. And then I'm gonna open that up and do this side. And the same way that we did this pocket, you can do it throughout. You can do it all over your album if you like. So I just love it because you can display the design paper, but then you still have, you know, a pocket to add a tag right here. So if you have a piece of cardstock, just add it. You know, how cute is that? Well, of course it will have to be a little bit smaller, but that's just a perfect little journal area. Okay, so continuing with the album, since I already have here these magnets, I'm just gonna line up where that magnet is. Let me open that up, and I'm gonna place it here. Okay, so then I'm just using the same location of the magnets that are existing. So I'm just gonna close these, and the magnet will stick to this page, and it will match up to the magnet that's down here. Okay, so we're kind of lining up the same magnets and creating even more interaction in our pages. All right, so now for this side here, I'm also going to be using just another one of my dies. And I'm going to be using now, and let me find the box, and I apologize for the noise, my kid's being crazy. This is the Petite Pocket Accents, and I love, this is like one of my favorites. Okay, so I cut a piece of 6 by 6.5, and I just glued these on the back here. Now you don't want a lot of layers because this is where we have our magnet. So then I have the beautiful die, and I'm just gonna use these to embellish the page. Look how pretty. So I am just going to add glue right over here and here. Okay, and I'm going to leave the rest open just in case if we want to slide a picture behind it. I'm just gonna put this right there. So I also use this same pocket die here, and I cut 2 more pieces, and I just want to show you a different way you can use this. So basically I'm just gonna get rid of this pocket part, and I'm just gonna cut this straight just like this, and we can always use this to embellish the side of your photo mats. Look how pretty that looks. So I'm just gonna glue this here, this line, and I'm gonna leave the rest open so you can slide your picture behind it. So I'm just gonna do that. And it is a great way to use your scraps because, for example, I have all of these scrap pieces. So basically you just need something like that and it will fit. See, a scrap like this, I was able to fit these two. So anyway, I'm just gonna continue embellishing this side of the folio, but let's get started on folio number 2. Okay, for the second folio, we're also going to start with a base of 7 3/4 by 9 3/4. Okay, then I'm going to cut 2 sheets of 8 1/2 by 9 3/4. So now we're going to score along the 8 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And we're gonna do the same to this one, 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So now we're gonna fold along the score lines, the 2 score lines that we did, and I'm going to place my double-sided tape along the 1/2 inch closest to the edge. Okay, and now we are going to place this on the left side of our base. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1 on the left and 1 on the right. So first I want to lay these flat and make sure that it's aligned to the base, just like that, and then I'm gonna press down the sticky side and remove the tape, and then we're gonna do the same with this one too. I'm just gonna put it like this, make sure it's flat first so you can line it up, and then we can remove tape, and here we go. So then we have this first part, and now you want to stand up your gussets just like so. Okay, so now I'm going to cut 2 more sheets at 9 by 9 3/4. So now I'm gonna place that on my scoreboard, and I'm gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 1 1/2. Okay, and I am scoring on the 9 inch side. And then I'm gonna do the same with this one too, 1/2 inch and 1 1/2. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold along the score lines, look like this. Okay, and I'm going to place these behind my base. Okay, so we have the base and we're gonna place one here. So we're gonna glue these on the back. Okay, and then I'm gonna find the back. So this is the opening. So we want to glue these on the back. So I'm just gonna place this like so. Just right on top of that. Make sure it's lined up. This is why I like doing glue for this step, because I can adjust it. There we go. And I'm gonna open these and just press here. Okay, so basically we have 2 opening pages on the same, one with a 1/2 inch gusset and one with the 1 inch gusset. So I'm gonna place this one the same way on the back here. So I'm gonna put my glue right here like so. Just gonna place it on the back here, and make sure you're not touching your score line. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press this, and here we go. So then we have this opening and this one on top here. So we have like 2 levels on our little folio. Now we can go ahead and add the magnets. So for the one on this side, you want the right to go on top. Okay, so the first folio, this is gonna go on the left side, it's gonna open to the left, and then you want the one on the right to open to the right, just to make it a little bit more symmetrical. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to make sure my gussets are standing up, and then I can go ahead and place my magnets. And I love that this comes already with the sticker, so it makes it a lot easier. So I have 2 sets of magnets. I'm gonna place one here. You don't want it too close to the edge because you want to make sure to cover that up. Okay, and now you can go ahead and stand this up. Make sure it's very perpendicular. Okay, and now I can press it. Okay, and now these magnets are super strong, so it's probably going to try to stick together. So the magnet is stronger than the stickiness, but once we cover this with the paper, we won't have this issue. So that's why I like putting just a little bit of tape to be able to separate them easily until I cover that with paper. Okay, so now I have those 2, and I'm going to do these 2 as well. 1 and part 2, and let's work on the inside of these 2 levels. So this collection has a lot of beautiful pages. For example, this one, it's already cut to you or designed for you into 6x6. So I want to do a 6x6 layout to kind of be able to fit the design of the collection. So I'm going to work right now with 2 sheets of 12 by 12, 6 inches, and then I'm going to score at 6 inches. So we have 4 of these. So I'm going to do 6 inches to all of these ones. 6 inches. And then this one too. 6 inches. And one more at 6 inches. So then I'm just gonna fold them on the score line. So then I'm going to use some of my scrap pieces here, and I'm gonna cut them at 6 by 1. And you are going to need 3 of those pieces at 1/2 inch. And then we're gonna fold these along that score line too. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my layouts, and I'm going to connect these together by join them on the opening side. So if this one opens like this and this one opens like that, I'm going to place the connector piece on the opening side, and I'm just gonna do this step with glue so we have time to adjust. Okay, so I'm just gonna place it down on the opening side, and then I'm going to add my glue here, and I'm going to place this on the opening side as well. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same with the next one. Okay, so now let's hold this together and make sure that they are even. And as you can see, I have a little bit sticking out from the bottom, so I'm just going to make sure they look even. Sometimes when we cut it, we don't cut it right, or the pages sometimes are not exactly 12 by 12, or sometimes we just glue it wrong, which is probably what I did. All right, so now when we open this up, this is gonna open like this. And then it's also going to open like that. Okay, so now this whole thing, I'm going to place, let me open this up. I want this on the base here. Now, first I'm going to cover this with paper. I'm going to glue my little booklet. So I'm just gonna place this straight down on the page. Just right up there. Okay, and I went ahead and cut one of the 6x6 images, and I did ink everything around, as you can see here on the paper as well. Okay, and then I also cut one of these frames, the die frames again, and I'm just gonna place this one right here. I just think it looks so pretty. It's so delicate. I just love it. And I am gonna glue the top. Okay, so just little dabs of glue everywhere. And I'm gonna place it right there. Side, I have two pieces of 7 1/4 by 9 3/4, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the top. So I'm doing 1/2 inch along the 9 3/4 inch side, and I'm gonna do the same for both. Okay, so then I'm just gonna fold and add my score tape around the corners of the opposite side. So now I'm ready to place this on the folio. I'm going to do one on the top, and I'm working on this right side of the butterfly. And I'm just gonna make sure this is centered, because this will be a little bit smaller than the page here. And I do it smaller so it won't touch on the gusset after we add it. Okay, so now I'm gonna open this one up and place this other one on the bottom. And again, we're gonna center it right here. So then this opens up and down like so. And I'm going to come back and decorate this later. On this page here, I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to cut a piece of 9 1/2 by 7 1/4. Oops. And make sure that this fits right here. And I'm going to do another one of my pockets. So I'm just gonna place the pocket where I want it. I'm gonna glue the whole thing down. And I want to do it on the right side because since we have the magnet on that side, I want to make sure we don't add too many layers to that. Okay, so once I have my pocket, I'm going to, oops, make sure it's glue. I'm going to make that little opening here. And before I add this page, I want to round the corners of this flap. You know, I just love using the corner edges because it just makes everything look a little bit more clean and, you know, more put together. So I'm just gonna do this one here as well. And before I put this down, I'm going to round these two corners. This one and this one. And then I'm just going to ink around. And I'm just going to glue these. So the place where we have our pockets, we're not gonna add any glue to that. We're just gonna go around the border like this. On the top, yes, you can add glue, and then I'm gonna go down and add glue here. And just the bottom. Okay, and I am ready to place this down. Just like that. And now we have a pocket here. We can add a little journaling tag or places for pictures. I'm going to cover the side of the magnets. I'm just gonna use my scrap pieces from this page and glue this down, and then the rest I'm just gonna use my craft color cardstock for this side. Okay, so I'm gonna place this down. Okay. So for the side with the magnet here, we don't want to do too much. This side and this side, we want to keep flat. Now we can design on the back here and here, of course. So for this one, I decided I'm just going to use some of my scrap pieces and create just a little belly band. So let me go ahead and get the little room here. So I'm going to cut these at 10 3/4. And this piece measures about 3.5 inches. And again, I'm just using my scraps. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch on both ends here. So I'm gonna do 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here at 10 1/4. And I'm gonna fold these. And before I add this back into my page, I decided to use one of my paper punches to just embellish the edge a little bit over the center here with this piece. I'm gonna place it right there, just like that. And now I am ready to put this back in the folio. So I'm just gonna fold along, and I'm just gonna use glue for this step. Okay, so now we're gonna place this on the center, and make sure you don't cover your magnet. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add glue in here and just fold it and press this down. Oh, I love how this looks. So pretty. A good stopping point for today, and we are going to continue next time finishing up with this folio number 2. We still have to build into that, and we're going to put everything together. So I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial and you're enjoying this project so far. I'm excited to see it all come together. And don't forget to visit JS Hobbies and Crafts. I will have the list of the supplies on the description box below. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.